Welcome back, guys. So, in our series of PostgreSQL vacuum, we have talked about what the auto vacuum is, how vacuum work in real life scenario, how is full vacuum. We know that vacuum does not reclaim the space used by, but full vacuum does. But in case when we require the space used by the table, there are bigger tables in your database, and you there are frequent updates and deletes. There are updates in that table, and you want to reclaim the space. You don't want that there are not much inserts on that table, but there are only updates on that table, and you want to reclaim the size by those tables, by the previous versions of the rows. Okay, you want to reclaim that size, so you can do full vacuum in that cases. But in production systems you can't do full vacuum for a table. Okay, you do not want to lock your table for reordering of the table and doing the full vacuum. So in those cases you can use a utility provided by third party, that is PG repack. Okay, it's a it's an extension to PostgreSQL that allows you to reorganize and reclaim the space used by tables and indexes without requiring an exclusive lock on the table. Okay, unlike full vacuum, which locks the table and prevents concurrent operations on the same rows and tables, PG repack works online, allowing normal reads and writes to continue during the process. So this is very much important when you have uh, bigger tables and you want to reclaim the sizes used by uh, space used by the tables. Okay, if you want to reclaim it, you can use the PG repack utility. This is very much useful utility. So what are the options in it? So hyphen T is for table name, or reorganize only the specified table. Hyphen and schema name, uh, reorganize tables in the specific schema, complete schema. If you want to do the run it. Dry run, it will show that PG repack would do without actually performing any changes. What PG repack would do. Okay, no order, skip ordering rows to speed up process. Okay, reordering means it will there are two parts, reordering and reclaiming the space. Reclaiming does, and it will not reorder that table, so that you will your this PG repack work what you are doing full vacuum with this, that will take less time with this. So no order is that. Reordering will not be working, and that will be done with the you can do that later or maybe some other time, or with analyze you can do it auto vacuum. But reordering is not being a part of it. If you do not want to does it for a particular instance of time, then you can use no order. Okay. Dry run is required when you just want to see what PG repack would do. Okay, so just testing, for testing purpose you can do it. Any features of a PG repack, key features of the PG repack. Okay, so online table reorganization, rebuilds table and indexes while allowing concurrent DML operations. Okay, insert, update, delete. You can still access the table. Avoids long downtime compared to vacuum full. Okay, so in vacuum full, there's a long downtime when till the time it deletes the table, delete the uh, rows. Don't delete that, it reclaims the space used by it, reorders the table. That is the complete that's the complete downtime which full vacuum has. So it avoid long downtime, just the reordering time that will be uh, minimal time you can see with this. Okay, and blot removal. So it effectively eliminates table and index blot caused by dead tables. Okay, reduces the on disk size of the tables and indexes. Okay, so it removes the blot of the table as well. Non-exclusive lock. requires only a brief exclusive log at the end of the process to swap the old and new tables. Okay, it creates a new table and it removes the old table. So that's just to swap. That's a minimal lock and a minimal downtime for a particular table. That's in milliseconds. You can bear that. Okay, that's negligible in smaller tables, or maybe not table with the TBs of data in it, but for small tables that's very negligible, minimal. So efficient index rebuilding. So it rebuilds all the indexes on table in a single pass. Okay, making it faster than manual index regression. Rebuild index, you need not to do that. So it does all that work by itself. Customizable, so it supports rebuilding specific tables or all tables in the database, like what we have talked. There are parameters in that you can use for a particular table for a schema. Okay, so how PG repack works. Okay, so it creates a temporary script to store the reorganized data. So how PG repack works. Okay, so it creates a temporary table to store the reorganized data. Okay, copies live data into the temporary table while keeping track of ongoing changes. Replace the changes from wall files to ensure consistency. Okay, and swaps the old table with the new organized table, requiring a brief exclusive lock. So this is how it works. PG repacks works. It doesn't uh, like it doesn't locks the table for the whole time. Okay, a temporary table to store reorganized data. It creates a temporary table for that, and then it uh, swaps between all the temporary table, new table, and the older table. Okay, so it doesn't require a full lock till that time it reorders the table. So what are the limitations of it? There are triggers. If table has triggers, they might not fire during the repack process. Okay, so they will not work. Foreign keys, table with foreign keys references require careful handling. Okay, in those cases you need to be careful while doing the using the PG repack. Like in most of the cases it works usually, like it works the same way, but in some cases it will you need to be careful. You can test it and then you can apply those on production. Disk usage. Temporary tables require additional disk space using during the process. Okay, so the temporary spaces on which it reorders the table, that tables require some disk space. So you may be aware that you need to keep some space left empty on your disk when you're using this, because uh, if there are bigger tables and you are doing it for bigger tables, then you need to use it leave some more space on them. Okay, super user privilege. It requires super user privilege to execute. So if you have running it with super user privilege, you'll be fine. Okay, so there are some limitations. This is the how it works in real life. So the key features of PG repack. So this is a very useful utility you can use. So what are the it's how when we if we compare it with full vacuum, what are the features you can think of? Okay, so lock requirements. Okay, so it just require a brief exclusive lock at the end when it swaps the table. Okay, and full vacuum it exclusive lock throughout the, like if it reorders the table and it reclaims the space till that time, it requires the complete lock of that table. Okay, concurrent DML, data modification, like if you want to run insert, update, delete anything, you can you are allowed to do it. In full vacuum you are not, because there's a lock on the table. Index rebuild, it's included. Index rebuilding is not included in full vacuum. It just reorders the table. It doesn't we need to rebuild the uh, indexes after we do the full vacuum. Disk space usage, temporary disk space is required. Okay, so for that temporary table which it creates. for reordering. So that disk space is required. So it reuses the space. Okay. Full vacuum, it just reuses the space which is occupied by the uh, bloat tuples. Okay, dead tuples. Performance impact, it's a minimal impact on the performance because as it is running in the background and online process. So and it doesn't make a lock on the table, but full vacuum, it is high impact on the table transactions, it because it makes a lock on the table and you won't be able to access that table. Okay, so this is the comparison between PG repack utility and full vacuum. So we see that this is very much useful utility we can use in uh, instead of doing a full vacuum over table. So for production systems, when you have complete do not have much downtime, you can use PG repack utility for reclaiming the space. When to use PG repack? Okay, when you need to reclaim space but cannot afford downtime. Okay, in production systems you can use it for heavily bloated tables and indexes that cause performance degrade. When you have bigger tables and there are blotting tables and indexes or blotted rows in it, you can use this. In production environments where minimizing user disruption is critical, okay, when you do not want your transactions to be disruptive during this reclaiming and reordering of the table, so in those cases you can use PG repack utility. So that's all. Thanks for our series of vacuum in PostgreSQL, and I'll be seeing you shortly in our next videos, next lecture, or some another topic. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.